Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Build YouTube channel. I'm Lockneye and today we're going to be taking a look at some more stuff happening in the Lego City. Today we're actually going to be going to the other side of the display so that we can take a look at the Lego City project for today, which is going to be the farm. In order to do that, of course, we're taking the train out for a ride. So, let's get this train moving. And here's where we're working today. Now, this is the farm space that I've allotted for me to use. I probably won't be using all of it because I'd like to save some other room for like campgrounds and forest stuff here. So I've kind of made an area made of more light green colors that will make the grass look a little bit more fresh. Now you can see I've moved the red cottage that was previously in the city over to this side, and I feel like this works as a pretty good farmhouse. And to place some extra buckets, watering cans, some hay bales, and stuff outside. But the first thing we've added in here that you can see is I've went and purchased the Lego Friends farm set that released in this past year. And it's a pretty good set base. It doesn't have a lot of like pinks and purples, which makes it fit with the rest of the city. I love when Lego Friends does this sort of thing because their builds sometimes are very fun. I personally originally bought this a while back, mostly because it was on sale for a bit, and the farm also came with some chickens, and if you've seen my past videos, you'll know I kind of enjoy chickens a little too much in Lego, so we have the main farm here. I did keep the windmill section here. I love the details using the oar paddles in there, and of course, I added some of the other details around here and put the farm stand and entrance out by the road. We'll get to that later today, though. Now, let's add in some other things to make this farm more detailed. This is the first thing we're going to add to the Lego City, and this might look familiar to some of you long-term viewers of the channel, and that's because this is the Lego chicken coop that I took to the county fair to go and get it judged that won first place. So, the main reason why I'm putting this in here, not in the full display, is because the full display was built on the regular Lego green color, not the vibrant green that I'm using here. So I'm going to have to use this color green, and I just transferred the actual building here. I also have the food dish and the water dish here, and as things start getting filled up, we'll add the chickens in over here. But next, I have also the tractor moved in here. And I also decided to move a little Lego Minecraft chicken banner that I had, because I thought that would be pretty silly to have here. So now we're going to be adding in some more stuff to fill out the chicken section of the farm. And to do that, I've purchased 2 of the Lego City chicken coop sets that retailed for $10, and merged them together. So let's take a look at that next. So here's what I did with the chicken coops. I essentially just took some spare parts in my collection and just connected the 2 of them together to be a little more sturdy and added a back wall. I didn't put both weather vane pieces on top because I didn't feel like that made much sense, but this is pretty cool and it adds like a space where if you had some smaller sized chickens, you could keep them separate from the main flock so they don't get injured at night or picked on by the other chickens. Now, I also decided to put one of the 4x4s that they had in the actual Lego City sets. I filled up the crate with more smaller ice cream pieces to make it look like smaller eggs, which I think is pretty cool. And overall, of course, this vehicle is in my channel's colors, so it makes sense to have it somewhere on the farm. Now, additionally, we're also going to be adding in some other small details and putting in 2 more tractors to this display. So let's check out what we're doing with that next. So here's the next build and the 2 tractors that I said I was going to add. We have the Lego City tractor that I picked up that retailed for $20 in the US, and also the little tiny tractor that came with the Lego Friends barn. I also used some cylinder pieces and Technic pieces to build what looks like a grain silo, and that'll keep the food for the animals in a nice safe space with a little chute to fill it up into the wagon behind the tractor. Additionally, I've added a windmill over here since this farm's basically on the middle of nowhere in this Lego City display. I figured it would make sense instead of having the electricity go all the way over here to just have a windmill, and this windmill does the trick nicely. This windmill did come from a Lego set that's already in the city, which is the Lego Friends car with the pink roof there. I think that the windmill in that set fits pretty good for the size of what we needed here, and this makes it a pretty good setup for getting the electricity here. Now I've got to add in some fencing, because if we're going to add any animals in here, we wouldn't want them escaping all over the place, especially into the river. So I'll be right back with that completed. So here's the full fence now that it's placed in. I wanted to make sure there was rooms for the animals to be able to be around, but I also wanted to make this fence look like it wasn't necessarily in like top shape. Most of the time in real life, when farmers are building fences, a lot of the time what I've seen is it's best to build out of what you've got before you buy a bunch of materials. So what I'm working with here is just a simple fence made of a couple of these ladder elements stacked along each other and clipped in to the ground with little clips. Additionally, we've now got space for the animals, but we need to put the animals in here. Right now, the only things we've really got sitting in the farm right now are just a bunch of rats over here behind the little section of the windmill here. So, let me go and grab some animals, and then let's fill up this farm. Alrighty, we finally put all the animals in the farm, so let's take a look at what we're going to do this time. And we're going to start over here. We've got these horses over here, along with a skeleton horse, because remember, this display is meant to be based off of Lego Ninjago, so fantasy creatures are a go. And we also have a family of pigs over here. We have some barn cats up in the rafters of the barn. And we also have the farmer's dog out front of the house, along with someone's pet rabbit. And, of course, wouldn't be a video on the Great Builds YouTube channel involving farms if I didn't show you the massive amount of chickens I've added to this farm. So, we have a whole bunch of different colors of chickens from various sets and various places where I've purchased chickens from. If you're curious, you can get the reddish-brown chickens from these $10 chicken coops. You get 2 per chicken coop. And you get 1 white chicken and 2 little chickies with the Lego Friends farm set. I'll be linking links in the description of this video for both of these sets if you want to go and check them out. So that way, if you want to buy something for yourself, you can totally start your own Lego farm. Now, this brings up a new question. How do we get over here across the river? Because the farm is pretty much on the other side of the display from the river. Well, I didn't show this very much at the beginning of the video, but I added more road to the Lego City too. So, this video took a little bit longer than it should have because of that, but I was editing the previous video. I was also working on this to try and keep the flow of things going. So the road actually comes down here to this intersection and goes over to the amusement park and goes over here where the suburbs will be, because you gotta have places for people to live, over to this, which is a pretty awesome drawbridge build that I did. Just a very simple drawbridge, because I need places for boats to get down through here to go over to the little port over here. But if you want to drive over these, it's as simple as just popping these down, and there you go. You've got yourself a bridge to drive across. Now, the road does end there because I want to do a gravel road in the future, but that's okay, because it doesn't need to be done immediately. And I do have some other big things coming up in the channel first, so feel free to let me know in the comments down below if you have any other suggestions for the Lego City after I work on the suburbs, because while I can't get everything done, inspiration comes from everywhere, and having some inspiration from fans on the channel is also helpful for me to decide what comes next. I have a couple of projects that I can pick from, and I'm always looking for suggestions. Now, that just about does it for this video. If you feel like you enjoyed this video, go and check out some of my other videos, because this is definitely something I've been doing for a while, and if you haven't seen the rest of the Lego City playlist, you can watch as this entire Lego City over here has been built up over time, and it's a pretty cool thing to see. Additionally, I'll be back next week in focusing on all of the suburban area over here, but for now, that'll do it on this video on the Great Builds YouTube channel, and I hope you all have a great day.